Entry-level jobs are vanishing at an alarming rate.
It's likely to be one of the most challenging times in history for graduates to get a job today.
Big tech companies cut the hiring of new grads.
Half of entry-level white-collar jobs disappearing and 10 to 20% unemployment in the next 1 to 5 years.
We used to tell our kids, hey, if you major in computer science, you'll be good to go. And now those graduates are having a hard time finding jobs. I fear for the next generation because all of the experience that maybe we got in our 20s and 30s, there might not be that kind of ladder available to them.
Nobody wants to hire a junior software engineer.
Big tech doesn't want you, bro.
What's going on, guys? Assalamu alaikum. In this video, I want to talk to you how generative AI, ChatGPT, and other models, they are changing how junior developers get into the industry today. Because let's be honest, so, by using, for example, ChatGPT, tasks which I would normally give to junior developers, I can just give to ChatGPT and all of these models because they can handle it so well. So OpenAI recently, they've just released Codex, and Codex basically allows you to delegate tasks to software engineering agent, right? So also we have agents these days in the cloud. So that means that, for me to hire someone, for example, to help me with my business, instead of me paying, I don't know, 2,000, 3,000, I could just pay, I think this is about 600 a month, right? This will never sleep and it will produce really good quality code. And as we know, these things are improving. So what this means is that companies now, they have fewer entry-level jobs because of AI. And in fact, job postings have declined by 30 to 70% since 2023, and this is specifically for junior developers. And then we've seen since COVID, where everybody was at home learning, so we had a surge on these coding bootcamps and online platforms, which means that there's a lot more people on the market in terms of looking for jobs. And this means that the supply of entry talent far exceeds the demand, which means far more competition for roles. And for one role now, instead of before, you had, a few handful of candidates, now you have, potentially thousands of people applying for the exact same role. So if you think that you're the only one applying for jobs and you're the only one, just remember that now it's very competitive. And I remember back in the days where, I was learning coding, the process of, getting to these companies and have interviews wasn't that difficult. But today, because of AI, companies, they expect you to be more diverse. And this means that having the knowledge of, for example, Java or Python, it's not enough, because the future of producing code and applications is changing because of AI, and you need to understand now how to use those tools. So if you don't adapt, it means that you will not succeed, right? So you have to be at a stage where you need to know exactly what are the trends. And we know that these things, they move fast, but you have to be on top of the new technology, the trends, so that you align with company requirements. And also the other thing which makes it really difficult for junior developers is that I remember in my own experience, when I was a junior engineer, I had a buddy. So if I had questions, I would sit down with him, I would learn from him. If I had another question from a different area of the business, I just go and sit down with people, sit down and learn from other developers. But now you can see that, many companies, they work from home, and this has a big impact on how you actually learn, right? Because now obviously everything is remote and it's a bit more difficult in terms of fully understanding and sitting down. Is a completely different experience, trust me. And you actually miss that guidance to accelerate your growth. And the other thing that we've seen also is that so-called junior roles, now they require 2 to 3 years of experience. And you've seen on LinkedIn and memes saying that junior role need to know the whole stack, AWS, backend, SQL, and then basically they say this is a whole department, which is absolutely crazy. But this is the reality. You need to diversify your skills, because otherwise you will not survive. So I would say first, master the fundamentals. So make sure that you understand the fundamentals well enough. So before, you didn't need to, master fundamentals. You could just go to an interview, and then as long as they could see that, this person has potential, then that would be it, right? But now fundamentals is very key. Understand, for example, the basics of a programming language, the core concepts, how to debug, understand testing, and really the whole problem solving, right? So programming, it's more about problem solving. If you have the problem solving aspect, and I always say to people, I wish I did a maths degree, because maths, they really teach you how to think. It's not so much about, coding, but it's about problem solving. If you have that, then programming, it's so easy. Trust me. So that would be the first thing. Then I would also say that build projects. So you need to start building projects. One really good advice I'll tell you is, say that you're applying for a company and you know that there are thousands of other people applying to the same company or the same role. So what are you going to do to be the person which will stand out? So what I would say is, look at the organization and see what is the core of the business. So maybe say that you are applying for a car rental company, and you can find something which you think that they would benefit from, and then implement a feature that could be used within the organization. And that means that you can tailor your CV and use some of the words so that you can basically pass the screening process, because obviously these days things are automated. So you pass the screening process, and then as you go and start talking to people, you can say, look, I've built this application that did XYZ because I know that you work on something very similar, and I'm really interested. And that shows that you actually are interested and you've built something which they potentially might need, or maybe they don't need, but they see that you are a good fit. And in fact, we have a student that actually got a job because of that. So I told him, look, find what they're working on and go and build something which then you can talk about on the interview. And just because of that, he managed to secure a job. So he was different, not just having a CV and say that HTML, Git, CSS. That's not going to take you anywhere, trust me. Then you need to upskill, seriously. So today, I would say you need to learn about AI. You've got AI automation, AI agents. So basically, AI is fundamental. You need to know, I wouldn't say everything, but just understand the core principles. What is an LLM? What is prompting, right? So understand the world of AI within software engineering and use AI actually to help you build applications. So today, I don't write as much code, and that's because, I take advantage of all the tools that these LLMs provide to speed up my development. And you should also take advantage. Before I continue this video, I just want to say that we are releasing something big coming very soon. So the last thing that we've done something like this was the Full Stack Professional, which was a massive hit. A lot of people managed to get jobs through that course. It was like a 60-hour mega course, but this time we have something even better. Then the other area that you should also look into is high demand niches, DevOps, cybersecurity, as well as machine learning. So seriously, you have to diversify your skills in order to have a chance. And one last piece of advice I want to tell you is that embrace the growth mindset. If you think that things are difficult and you're not getting anywhere, I can guarantee you, keep on pushing, and eventually it will come your way. I'm not saying that it's impossible for junior developers to break into the market. No, we've helped thousands of people breaking into the market, and you can also do it. And being around like-minded people so that you can move forward together. So you can use them as an inspiration, as motivation, as well as working together on projects so that you can use each other to drive forward. So this is pretty much it. I've got something coming up very soon. So just make sure to click on the link and description of this video to stay on the loop. As part of doing Amigoscode for many years now, we've seen a lot of people getting jobs and whatnot. So now the next step is, how can we bring all of the learnings so that we can help you in terms of succeeding in this very tough industry. All right, so this is all for now, and I'll see you on the next one. Assalamu alaikum.